Hello and welcome to French Philosophers React, a philosophical take on the news headlines for today, September 17th, 2024. This is an AI-generated podcast intended as an engaging, relevant, and informative way to explore what French philosophers might think about the day's news. But like all AI, it can make mistakes. Use it for generating possible ideas, but don't rely on it as an authoritative guide to the news or to the details of French philosophy. In the news today, TikTok argues its threatened U.S. ban is unconstitutional, citing freedom of speech and asserting that the government cannot dictate ownership of an online platform. The company claims the law will silence 170 million American users and lead to the shutdown of the platform, while opponents stress concerns about national security, data collection, and potential manipulation by Chinese authorities. A three-judge panel heard arguments from TikTok's lawyers, who countered that a ban would disrupt marketing, retail, and content creation industries, as well as users' interests in working with their chosen publisher and editor. Commentary. In the age of algorithmic amnesia, the erasure of free speech in the digital realm. As we navigate the labyrinthine world of online platforms, it's clear that our understanding of free speech is undergoing a radical transformation. The recent news story surrounding TikTok's threatened U.S. ban has sparked a heated debate about the limits of government intervention in the digital realm. But beyond the headlines and partisan rhetoric lies a more profound concern: the erosion of free speech in an era where algorithms and corporate interests mediate user experiences. Michel Serres, in his seminal work, The Five Senses, reminds us that writing has become a form of visual communication that distorts our understanding of reality. This notion is particularly relevant when considering the ways in which social media platforms curate and shape user experiences. We write, but we also have our words written back to us by the algorithms that govern these platforms. It's as if we're living in a perpetual state of déjà vu, where the same narratives are repeated ad infinitum, with each iteration reinforcing the dominant ideologies of those who control the digital landscape. As Serres so elegantly puts it, write a text in plain language and you will begin to live freely. But what does this mean in an era where the very notion of free speech is being redefined by the likes of TikTok? Is it truly possible to write in plain language when our words are filtered through the prism of corporate interests and algorithmic curatorialism? The more we rely on these platforms to mediate our experiences, the more we risk losing touch with our authentic selves. We become mere caricatures of ourselves, trapped in a hall of mirrors where reflections upon reflections create an infinite regression of sameness. But what about the beauty and elegance that can be found in this digital realm? Serres notes that beauty and elegance in a work is the result of a joyous liberation, getting rid of dead wood, paring down. In other words, true artistry lies not in the creation of new content, but in the ruthless editing of the irrelevant. And yet, as we scroll through our feeds, it's clear that this notion of beauty and elegance has been reduced to a mere afterthought. The algorithm-driven news cycle is designed to keep us engaged, to create a perpetual sense of outrage and anxiety that keeps us hooked. We're fed a diet of clickbait headlines and manufactured controversy, with the real artistry lying in the manipulation of our emotions rather than any genuine attempt at creative expression. In this context, TikTok's argument that the government cannot dictate ownership of an online platform takes on a different light. It's not just about protecting corporate interests, it's about preserving the very notion of free speech in its most basic form, the ability to write, to create, and to express oneself without fear of reprisal or censorship. The threatened ban is less about national security and more about reclaiming our freedom to communicate on our own terms. As we navigate this treacherous landscape, it's clear that the traditional notion of free speech is no longer tenable. We need a new paradigm, one that acknowledges the complexities of online communication and the ways in which algorithms shape our experiences. It's time for us to reclaim our freedom to write, to create, and to express ourselves in plain language without fear of reprisal or censorship. For it's only through this liberation that we can truly begin to live freely once more. Thank you for listening to today's episode of French Philosophers React. Be sure to come back tomorrow for more reflective takes on the day's news.